Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Popcorn Watchlist podcast, where we discuss and celebrate our favorites in TV and film. I'm your host, Xavier, and today I'm once again joined by my fellow Popcorn Watchlist panelists, Danny, Zach, and Anthony, to talk about what is probably considered to be one of the biggest classics of the 1980s, a really formative movie that once you've seen it, it kind of stays with you forever. So many classic and iconic moments, and to this day still has a lasting impact with how these movies are made, as well as how the story is continued to modern audiences today. And in case you haven't taken a guess at what we're talking about, I guess you're going to have to do a little wax on and wax off to figure it out and get it inside your system, because we are talking about the one and the only Karate Kid from 1984. Starring
Ralph Macchio.
Ralph Macchio, which before this only was in The Outsiders. That's kind of like his breakout role.
I thought it was after.
No, it was before. That was 83. So this movie came out in 84. You have Ralph Macchio and Noriyuki Pat Morita, which was a really, kind of like another breakout role for another stage in his career. And, the iconic Mr. Miyagi. And basically it follows a coming of age story of a kid moving to the West Coast, not finding any friends, getting bullied by the kind of cool kids at school, which apparently they're cool because they take karate classes. Goes to the said karate dojo, gets really kind of humiliated. I kind of felt really bad for him.
You're only cool
that
town if you
know
do karate.
And boy, does that have a lasting impact on that town. But we'll get to that later. From there, poor kid Daniel LaRusso ends up running into one Mr. Miyagi. And through his old Okinawan karate methods, he's able to really instill with him, what really it takes to learn a martial art. It's not just for competitive and, combat and instilling violence, but really embodying these great ways of self-discovery and balance and, just enriching your life in the long run for it. So fun fact, this is actually, throughout the whole panel, we've seen this movie multiple times, with the one exception of one Zach.
As always.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thunk it?
But I was really excited to get through, get to this movie because... all the hype around Cobra Kai on Netflix has kind of revitalized the series. And knowing that Zach hadn't seen it, I figured, dude, let's get him on it. I know it's going to have the right mix of, corniness, cheesy, great 80s stuff, but also, heartfelt messaging inside to hook him in and get him into the rest of the series.
Plus, recently... on June 22nd was the 40-year anniversary of this movie.
40 years.
We missed it by 2 weeks.
Oh. Anthony and I weren't even born.
Your back hurts.
My future back or my past back?
Yeah, my past back hurt either way. I remember when it was a big deal. It was just 20th anniversary on VHS or something.
Nice.
I don't know. 10-year anniversary reprint. But now, we're celebrating 40. And so... honestly, the Karate Kid and the whole Karate Kid kind of I guess we call it franchise, has such a massive impact leading into, like I said in the intro, from what's going on for today. And even when it came out, it was a sleeper hit, it hit theaters, and then it just gained momentum and just grabbed a big following. From 1984 numbers, Danny, I don't know if you have those crunched up already.
Yeah.
What was the budget?
Yeah, so the budget was $8 million.
Yeah, $8 million in 1984 money.
Yeah.
And then how much did it make?
It made 130.
That's almost, not 20 times. That's 15, 16 times. It's its original budget. Yeah, not bad.
For that time,
really good.
It did pretty good.
Yeah, it made perfect sense why they wanted to let's make more of these. Let's make 2 more, and then see where that goes. But again, it's one of those movies that when people think of the 80s and how 80s movies were made in the 80s, it kind of fit the formula perfectly. You had, new kid comes into town, new kid meets wise older elder learns his teachings and lessons, applies it to some big major event. There's usually some type of like a training montage, and there's also like in tournament or in like competition montage, and then we get to the ultimate final showdown that leads to one major thing that decides everything. It's all on the line with one move, and then freeze frame end. Like, it's perfect. Like, it's just it's a perfect formula. Don't ever change it, and don't ever critique it. I'm kidding. No, it's like, how dare you? But yeah, it's just a massive. It just over time just created a massive cultural icon. People grew up and then showed their families, their kids, this movie, and then that kind of it created this. So many iconic lines. Like, you have wax on, wax off. You've got sweep the leg. You got put him in a body bag, Johnny.
No mercy.
No mercy. Yeah. Strike first, strike hard, no mercy. Trust me, that's coming back. Like, that's been coming back. As I think, I don't know if there's any other little tidbits you wanted to bring up, Dan.
Well, I wanted to say, so it was one of the highest grossing films of 1984. And like you mentioned, it said it was Hollywood's biggest sleeper hit of the year.
Yeah. It's kind of one of those where, like, you love to see movies like that where, like, hey, it's good. Like, when you see it, you're like, man, does anybody else know that this movie is just awesome? And then, really entertaining. And then you start getting more people going through and watching it. You're like, damn, this is great.
It was the fifth highest grossing film of 1984.
What were the 4 movies ahead of it?
So number 1 was Ghostbusters.
Hell yeah. Agreed.
Beverly Hills Cop.
Damn, nice.
Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Woo!
And Gremlins.
Damn, what a year.
84.
84 is...
It's a solid
year, yeah.
Solid summer.
Yeah, that's a solid summer, right? Yeah, they all came within the span of... We should watch Gremlins. And I think who here hasn't seen Ghostbusters? Zach?
The original?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Too scary?
Yeah, it's too scary. I think he has an aversion to
Have you
Rick
seen any of
Moranis for some
the
reason.
new ones?
I think you saw the latest.
I only saw the first of like these 2 movies.
Afterlife?
Like with Paul Rudd?
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, that's like
That's
kind of like a direct continuation of the other 2.
Yeah. I've only seen that one. The first of the 2, not the most recent one, not the Frozen or whatever that's called.
Frozen Empire?
Yeah. I haven't seen that
You
one.
didn't watch the 2016 one?
Frozen Empire State of Mind.
The one with the female lead cast now.
Yes.
I've not seen that one.
Okay. So
Which I hear it's not that bad, but
it has moments. It has fun moments. But what I will say is, taking it back to this again, with all of us having seen it, I know Danny, Anthony, and I, we like have over time, like we're some way, shape or form, we got introduced to this movie. I don't know if any of the 3 of us can we remember like when we first saw the movie.
I'm pretty sure I saw it on TV because obviously I wasn't born in '84. So at some point when I was, I guess, old enough to realize that I was watching stuff on TV. So probably maybe by the time I was like 4 or 5, maybe 5, I probably saw this at some point on TV. And by then it would have been already like a pretty, what was it? It would have been like 92, 93 maybe.
92, 93.
So it would have already been like a 7 or 8 years since the movie came out. So yeah, that's definitely one of those where it's on rotation on like a BBC or
specifically formatted for television. Like they used to do that when they'd air things.
Or a WB, UPN, those old stations.
Yeah. What about you, Danny?
Same. I wasn't born at that time.
Mm-hmm.
I know I saw it at home. Maybe like, I don't know, TV channel that was playing it, or maybe like a family member had it on VHS or DVD or something like that. But yeah, I had seen it multiple times for sure. And then now I'm just recently watching it today actually, and I know I rewatched it back maybe in 2020 before I started watching Cobra Kai, so it was still pretty fresh.
All right, cool. I know. I'm pretty sure, like around like with kind of started like around Anthony's age, like when he first saw it. It's kind of first I think I saw it, but I think I distinctly remember meeting going to someone bringing it up, and then he having some wild white hair and DeLorean, and took me back to '84. No, I'm kidding. I'm pretty sure it was. So I would watch it. Yeah, I've seen it on TV. But I think I saw it on TV. May or may not confirm back, because back in like the 90s, if you knew people who knew people who knew people, you may or may not be able to get one of those cracked cable boxes. And I'm pretty sure I watched the full version I may or may not have seen the full version on one of those devices. I can't be sure.
I thought you were going to say laser disc or something.
No, I'm talking about back in the day. This could have happened. I think my dad had done something, maybe. Again, I can neither confirm or deny, but it was on, and then I remember distinctly the waxing of the car and the painting of the fence and the bonsai trees, and kind of going straight into the tournament, and kind of growing up, and you always have your things of bullying. So I think it being young, you can easily relate to Danny's character, and kind of really wish that's like, yeah, he's learning genuine, real, authentic karate. That was really cool, as opposed to like whatever fighting system that Cobra Kai was bringing up. So and then over the years, again, I'd find ways to just watch it in its entirety, whether nowadays it's streaming, but if it was like, hey, let me borrow this DVD or rent it, or I kind of wish I'd owned it on VHS, but that's now gone long by.
How would you play it?
I have a VHS player still.
Nice.
So, this brings us now to Zach, who had seen it, probably like Danny here, through streaming. And so, main point is I would love to know, like, some of your main take of, like, what you enjoyed about the movie, like, what stuck out to you most of all.
Ooh, what stood out the... Well, I guess I'll start with what stood out the most.
Yeah, stood out the most.
Well, one thing that I want to mention too is that so the first Karate Kid movie that I saw was the Jaden Smith one. So I mean, it's a carbon copy. Like the Jaden Smith one is a carbon copy of the original one. So there's a lot of
except there's no Halloween
everything.
chase, but they're still being chased by the kids.
And they're also not doing karate.
Yeah,
they're doing wushu. Anyway.
But it's called the Karate Kid.
Yeah, but it's called the Karate Kid.
Yeah, anyway,
I don't know why.
Power of will.
Yeah.
Transformation is karate. No, it's not how that works. But either way,
because one thing that I liked a lot up until the very end was the pacing. I think I liked that.
This movie?
Yeah, for this movie, for the original one. Okay. I thought the pacing was really well done. Like they're fleshing out the characters more, and you're getting to know who Danny is, and Johnny, and
because it's a 2-hour movie.
Yeah, it's like just at around 2 hours. I think credits is like 2 hours 8.
Yeah.
And I liked a lot of the humor between Miyagi and Daniel, which was really nice. Like some of the lines in there.
Oh yeah, like the dry humor.
Yeah, like the very dry humor.
Yeah, like which
I pulled up one. So where Daniel asks, "Hey, what kind of belt do you have?" Asking like what color belt, right? And Miyagi goes, "Canvas, JCPenney, $3.98. You like?"
Yeah, you like? Yeah, it's perfect. It's not about that. Yeah, I remember that.
Which was a theme a couple times.
Yeah,
actually, we mentioning that because the belt doesn't matter, which he mentions I think in this part, but then later on before the tournament, saying to actually one of the guys that's like signing up people, that and. I like the relation like the relationship between him and the girl, like how that kind of like came into or I guess how
like Daniel and Allie,
and then
Allie with an
I. Allie with an I.
Allie from
Hey,
the
Allie with an I.
Yeah, my name's Daniel with an L.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh my god, that Jersey, New York humor. It's like just so silly. Yeah, man, Elizabeth Shue. That was I mean, that was before she got recast
For Back to the
Back to
Future?
Futures 2 and 3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. But
She was
because
what?
she wasn't Marty's girlfriend in part 1, but she was in 2 and 3.
Oh, so she was in that franchise too. I didn't even
Yeah.
realize her.
Yeah,
She
Oh, wow.
man.
all around the 80s.
She's in The Boys.
She did that after Karate Kid, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Karate Kid. Yeah.
No man,
85, man.
85.
That's crazy. Because Back to the
Back
Future
to the
was
Future.
was 83, 84. Or,
No,
No
to the
man,
future.
I knew. I
no, the first one.
Yeah.
so I will say I first
85.
remember.
Oh, then what was the second one?
I don't know.
88.
87, 88.
Oh, okay, never mind.
I remember Elizabeth Shue from Adventures in Babysitting,
Yeah.
but
I've
that's
heard of
that's
that.
the whole thing. So Back to the Future Part 2 was 89 and Part 3 was 90.
Oh, sorry, man. Okay.
Yeah,
Damn, 4 years.
I had to look that up. But anyway, yeah, Adventures in Babysitting is great, by the
2
way.
years later,
It's a
even
great
though
80s movie. You should watch
They
it.
filmed at the same time.
Yeah, they did, but hey, we built 2 movies. It's just people thought Harry Potter and all these other movies did it first. No, man, Back to the Future. Boom, easy.
Lord of the
Anyway,
Rings, back to back to back.
yep.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. Hey, did you know in that scene? No, I'm kidding. Anyway, did you know in Karate Kid? No.
Well, now that you said, did
Yeah.
you know? When he walks into his apartment for the first time and he's going through the pool
Oh my god.
with the
That's
old
so sad.
lady, and the old lady's like, talking about, I was from this place too, and I have an uncle there, and he's like, oh, Louis? I know Louis. And what's the last name or whatever? And the old lady's like, oh, you know him? Oh, no.
Actually, no.
No.
Like, just actually, no. It's like, what? It's,
I've never heard of it.
I love how this, like,
Yeah.
it's like,
Like
hey,
that type of like.
you're from that area? Yeah, I know
banter.
Louis. Like, yeah, yes.
Like,
Like,
yeah, Louis, this? Yeah, I'd never heard of it.
kind of like, it's kind of like to that point where, like, Daniel is kind of like, hey, I'm going to try to, like, fumble and kind of, like, for lack of a better term, like, kind of BS his way through some stuff and try to, like, hang off of that, but then you see it's not working out here in the valley, and it's like that kind of that gets to him for a bit, and then
Yeah.
it's great that he finds such a good like a new like mentor and like kind of a new way to kind of like get through all of this with Mr. Miyagi.
Hey, his neighbor dipped.
Yeah, what the hell's up with that, dude?
With the kid that was helping him
Yeah.
around.
Yeah,
For like the first he was probably there for like the first 30 minutes until the beach
Probably
scene,
not even, yeah.
and then after that beach scene, that's it. He was gone the rest
yeah.
of the
was like,
movie.
He's like, yeah, he's just like Daniel got his ass whooped at the beach. Nope,
I'm out.
this kid is trash.
I
like,
wonder if they
social
Did
pariah.
they bring him back for Cobra Kai?
They
I don't know.
could you imagine that guy was just like,
Maybe he works for him or something.
no, that would be
It's
like
his neighbor again.
that would be the wildest thing.
Middle finger to him.
But no. But yeah, like, there is I don't know, like there is a school of thought, Zach, and maybe you'll get to it the more you see the rest of these movies and get into it. There is a school of thought that Daniel LaRusso basically instigated all this stuff.
That he's the villain.
That's like I wouldn't go as far as to say he's the villain, but he's just like he's the protagonist of the story, but like he's like aggressively trying to get through and instigate some of this stuff, especially when it gets to the point where like, yeah, I want to learn to fight and whatever. Then he goes to the freaking Cobra Kai dojo, and then Sensei Kreese is just out there just like, nah, we're not having any of this. And so it's like someone try to put him in check. But which, by the way, what are your takes on John Kreese as a character?
I mean, I feel like the typical '80s kind of like bad boy, bad guy kind of thing, like very self-absorbed in a way.
Okay.
Like very he's like he acts like he's the alpha.
Yeah.
He's got that personality going for him.
And that's kind of
Very,
like
typical '80s.
that's kind of like the trope of everything, right, Anthony? Like
kind of reminds me of Biff.
look at him. Yeah.
But
I love this because this is like your frame of references for 80s movies, or it's now like it's like Top Gun and Back to the Future. Now you have Karate Kid. You're like, I'm seeing a pattern. You're like, welcome to most movies in the 80s. Now I gotta get you. Like, I mean,
That's
you've seen
that's like
the Rocky films you've seen. So
Yeah,
like, look at
yeah.
people like Drago and freaking.
that movie was
No.
super 80s.
Like, yeah, the 84. Yeah, like, which by the way, it's on Prime now. I think you just watch it, but look up the Drago cut of Rocky 4. Much better movie.
I think he saw that.
I
one.
think was that the one I saw? No, I think I skipped over it and I said I was going to watch it another time.
So the Rocky IV, do you remember there being a robot?
Yes.
Damn it. Okay, so
Yeah,
you need to watch the other
original
version.
one.
The
You know,
robot, like
Paulie's
servant,
robot, yeah, and like there's a romance story between Paulie and the robot. Anyway, no, yeah, the 80s were a time. Anyway, yeah, so you have these villains that like the way they asserted themselves is like this massive physical roadblock for the hero, and
even though Billy Zabka was like pretty thin.
yeah, but Billy Zabka can whoop his ass, like. But yeah, we have to talk about Johnny Lawrence.
He could destroy boombox.
Boomboxes. Yeah.
Dude, what a jerk.
Yeah, I think that's why she broke up with him.
No, they had
all
already
about the
broken
boombox.
up.
Yeah.
So like,
That was like the
I mean, that's
final
the
nail
reason.
in
That's the nail in the
it's
breakup.
like, now I know
coffin.
why. This guy just
Yeah.
goes up to you at the beach and
Like,
destroys your
That
boombox.
guy's striking first and striking hard with no mercy on my boombox. What the hell? Like, yeah. So Johnny Lawrence was like that was like, you know, you talk about like your antithesis to the hero. Like that's like it was almost like they used them as a mirror because you have Daniel Miyagi, Johnny, and Kreese. It's kind of like they're like two mirrors of just like what one can become into different styles and philosophies, and that's like becomes like the ultimate conflict. And even you can see that Johnny's torn of just like what we're doing and like how are we really fighting fair? Is like who cares about fair
at the very end.
Yeah, and that's what even the like.
And the other students, like the guy next to him, was like doing this. Like,
Yeah, just like
at him the same.
I don't know if I feel good about this, and it's like that's kind of the point. Like you shouldn't, you absolutely shouldn't.
Out of commission.
You got a problem with that? Sweep the leg.
And almost every scene of dialogue that he has his arms crossed. It's
They're
just
always
like-
crossed. Exactly. Like again, John Kreese is a physical roadblock. Like it's just like, but
And I
like,
feel like he's barely in the movie too.
but that's the
Yeah, no, I know it's
Incredible
like
about
that
it.
typical
He's-
villain is only there like sprinkled in a little bit,
Yeah.
and then at the end,
he's such an intimidating force from like when you first meet him at the Cobra Kai dojo, and then showing up at the tournament with all the various Cobra Kai entrants. It's but then and obviously Miyagi again just
he's
having
like the
you started just running through and you learn like more of Miyagi's backstory too, like, and then obviously empathize more. It's like you find out that both Kreese and Miyagi were kind of shaped by war and something else of that nature, and they each got something different out of it. So it's like okay, like like movie. You start looking at it, like the themes, like it's deeper than I thought. It's pretty cool.
And I think Miyagi has a quote where he says something like, "Never a bad student, only a bad teacher."
Yeah. That's it honestly makes sense. Like I remember that line because it's like going as getting older and older, you realize like all the different teachers that have an impact on you, like whether if it's the good ones or the bad ones, and you see other people like, oh, I didn't really like this subject because I didn't like my teacher, or my teacher didn't really help me out with this, or you go through a certain thing and someone who is able to take the time and mentor you in something, like, hey, you know what, they were a good teacher to me, like that was that helped me understand it or helped me get through it. You know what I mean? That's it's really cool. Yeah. And then always, like, and even like, Daniel trying to just like, oh, I want to learn this just to kind of like, be cool with the fight. So it's just like, but like, I want to learn to fight, but Miyagi saying just like, it's like, you think, that's what you think is like, then, why do you train? It's like, so I won't have to fight. He's like, yeah, good. Miyagi has hope for you. Like, because he's like, I want to train so I don't have to fight. You're like, that's the idea. Congratulations. So it's great. But all of it comes, culminates from, the spiritual side, the physical side. I want to know, Zach, when he first got him to start just like doing chores around Miyagi's house, what was going through your mind?
Well,
because you've seen the 2010 version.
Yeah, so I figured. I mean, yeah, like it's all going to relate to karate. In some
Okay,
way.
cool. So you saw that. I've actually known like people younger are just like, this is silly. That that's cool. Like they had like the aha moment, just as Daniel had the aha moment when they're like, it's the wax on, wax off to block. You're like, what the hell? Like, yeah.
That one sequence when he finally like shows him like, okay, do this, do that, like to actually like block and defend.
And then Daniel's like, holy crap.
That was
I've
cool.
been doing this for the whole time. Yeah, and it's like fitting in more and more, and yeah, it's so cool. Like, again, that kind of like homey style of just practical training gets into it. It really pays off. What other stuff kind of stuck out to you between, let's say, the Miyagi and Daniel relationship?
Ooh, other stuff. I don't know because I feel like we covered most of that already. But
So if we covered it overall, overall, like how do you feel that ended up kind of like the how it all came together in the end? Do you feel like it was forced? Do you feel it was natural? Like, do you feel it was kind of like, oh, this is just cheesy, or just kind of like go through? Like, I would love, like, what do you feel about it, or how do you feel about it?
I would say like 95% natural. I feel like for plot reasons, like you had that little bit of like towards the beginning where it was kind of forced into like them.
Like how we first ran into him and met him.
and then building that relationship. Maybe not like the first part, but like I would say since like the bike part or like after the bike part.
Okay.
Where like there was just that little bit of like nudging to like plot wise to get it rolling between the two, and then like that one like 3-5 minute scene where he asks to like teach him karate.
Yeah.
I think that was like the first part. He was like, I think he's like, yes, like I would train you, whatever he says.
I will train Daniel-san. Yeah, it's I know a lot of people like picked up on like the Daniel-san a lot, and like, a lot of the Miyagi mannerisms, and the Miyagi say, like the way Miyagi said stuff, as an older Japanese man, to be able to do that. So it was really cool, and again, like having authenticity from Pat Morita to kind of go and really bring that in.
Oh, and one thing I want to mention too, I was always under the impression that Miyagi was going to catch the fly with the chopsticks.
Funny.
It ended up being Daniel.
Beginner's luck.
Yeah, beginner's luck. Yeah, that was hilarious.
He was so upset too.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was one of those what are they called, the Mandela effect kind of things where it's like this whole time
You always thought.
I always thought that he did catch.
Well, I think it's like also like a trope that's probably in a lot of martial arts type movies where they'll show something like that, and then a character will end up getting the fly. So it's probably you've seen other things that have shown that, even cartoons or other types of movies, and it's probably just referencing this or even older martial arts movies. So
yeah, it could be older like Chinese stuff, which even Miyagi brings up is like karate was really like the type of like hand-to-hand
Like
fight came from China, and then later on it went to Okinawa as like one of my ancestors, and that's how we call it karate. Like like I was like empty hands, like he's like, oh man, he's like, but that was like 2 Buddhist temples, and it's just like too much TV.
That's what my mom says too.
Yeah, I forgot about the cartoon. It's just like, oh my god, really? Like, great.
Can we talk about those Halloween costumes?
yeah.
The shower curtain.
Yeah, boy, you gotta make do with what you got.
And then the whole
The
group.
famous squad of
Cobra Kai squad, the skeleton crew. Part of the ship, part of the crew.
Is that what the new Star Wars show is going to be about?
Yeah, it's about karate. It's about Cobra Kai
the skeleton
kids.
crew.
It's the spin-off.
They go off, and
It'll
then
take place on one night on Halloween.
Yeah. Man, that's freaking awesome. And
The chicken guy was smashing the eggs.
yes. Oh my god. Anyway, I think all of it. I think from all that comes through, we're culminating to what is probably the most iconic like final act in like most of these like martial arts movies. Like you have like stuff from like Bloodsport, or you have Kickboxer, but like a lot of people remember the Karate Kid one for multiple reasons. It's like one, it's like the All Valley competition, like that whole setting in that big gym and like all the different fights. But nothing tops the ultimate like competition montage we get, set to the best, literally the best music that you could ever pick for this scene. You're the Best by Joey Bean Esposito. That like that music, I can't tell you how many people like will remember You're the Best around, like because of just that one sequence.
From this movie.
And this movie made it perfect because like Daniel's going through the bracket and just going through everything. It's just he is the best. And literally like the chorus or like the bridge is fight till you drop. It's hella inspirational. I'm pretty sure it's on a whole bunch of people's like gym playlists or something because it's just
for sure.
it's like perfectly cheesy, and obviously like Cobra Kai helped bring it back a little bit. So I mean a lot, but I would again. I want to know Zach's take on this.
Is it too cheesy for you?
Okay, so
Yes.
this is where I kind of have like pacing issues.
He
not
You didn't like the tournament.
What,
He hates
not
tournament montages.
that scene in particular. I would say like part of it maybe, but my gripe is more of like the whole training before then.
The training montage? With the crane and everything? The crane stance and...
yeah, like all
Like,
that stuff. Like
what about them on the boat and he gets the
Yeah.
boat flipped
Yeah.
over and all that when they're
so
going fishing?
like the pacing is more that well actually I wouldn't even say it's a pacing issue. I would say it's more of like they didn't really show much. Like he
So
wasn't.
you're saying it was too fast.
He wasn't
too
doing-
many montages.
No, the montage.
Not enough in a montage. Sorry, I think we're jumping. I'll let you explain.
Not even like enough in a montage. I would say like there wasn't any like actual fighting. It was just more like training with balance or training with like
Chores and stuff.
yeah.
Because that is the training.
Like there wasn't anything
training for
between
life.
like between him and Miyagi. Like yeah, Miyagi's an older character. But even then like
He expected Miyagi to just roll up and whoop him.
I mean, he does have that one scene where he like beats them all.
Yeah, he beats up. Yeah, he fights off all the kids,
Yeah.
but it's more just like it's, and you can tell he's holding back.
Yeah.
It's just like get out of here, like stop, like go through.
because this is where I'm gonna compare it now to the Jaden Smith one.
Oh boy.
Because
No, but Jackie Chan hurts those kids.
Dude, he could have gone to jail.
yeah,
what
he
no
hurts those
that's
But then again, those
different
kids
part
are
of the
also
movie.
like demons.
But that's not the movie. That's not the part of the movie that I'm talking about.
Dude, those kids were crazy. Like if I saw a 10-year-old doing that stuff, I'm gonna be like, I'm out. Like,
I wanted to murder Jason. I don't blame him.
Murder.
But that's not the part of the movie that
Miyagi goes
that's
gonna kill
way
those
early
kids.
in
He's the
movie.
best guy around. I mean, he is the best guy
Where are
around.
all those children he murdered? What
murders?
I don't want no trouble.
The
That's
best.
Jackie Chan.
Yeah, he's the best around. He's the best guy around. Nothing's gonna ever take him down. No, go ahead, Zach.
So it was like everything after like where things were starting to click for Daniel when he was like when Miyagi was showing him like the sanding or like sand or circle right, circle left, like he's doing all that stuff right, showing him like how that relates to then like some of the choreography. Every like the montage after that in the Jaden Smith one, then there's like actual sparring between him and Jackie Chan a little bit, like actual like hitting and stuff like that. Whereas in this movie, it was more just about Daniel by himself, training on his own, not so much sparring with Miyagi. So there was no sense of like how good how Daniel has become until we get to the tournament where then he's beating everyone without actually having fought anyone.
Well,
You get me?
I get that. I think that's one way we're putting it. So that's nice.
But he's like destroying everyone that has like years
he has
of
the best
practice.
teacher.
because he has the best teacher, and because he's teaching more practically, because it's more ingrained in him than just being ingrained in like a dojo setting. Those kids probably like they only train when they're at the
For
dojo.
that, yeah.
They're training for that. Like
They're
Daniel's training for real life
Like
situations.
they're there for an hour and then they leave.
Yeah,
I mean,
Daniel
And then they go
hangs-
bully people.
Yeah, so Daniel's there all day with Miyagi. He's out while Miyagi's fishing, training. He's in the house he's at his house doing chores, and that's
So
training.
it's like he's got the concept of it, just not the like official like.
Yeah,
like he hasn't gone up against anyone to practice.
the tournament is basically like this is how we practice
what your
to do
opponent
it.
is going to do.
Yeah,
And
like
that
he
shows
didn't
like in the
practice,
beginning where he's asking Miyagi like, "Oh, what do we do?" And he's like, "Oh, I don't know, first time."
Yeah.
This is my first time here too.
yeah. It's like I don't know, first time. It's the same thing with
And
like
then
when
they're watching, and,
Yeah.
like they're seeing like what they do,
Yeah.
and then
Is that,
obviously like the first
Yeah.
round, like he leaves the mat a couple times.
is that the scene where they make it seem like he's like he only speaks Japanese and he needs a translator? Or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't understand what he says. And
yeah, and
she's
then
a
like
translator.
Ali's a translator, and just like oh he says you look like an
And
uncle.
then he
He's
goes,
like
"Thank
oh
you."
nice, thank you, and it's like cool, and then they get
He's
away
like,
from
welcome.
You're welcome. Yeah.
And you see as the camera pans, the guy's like,
What?
I was like,
Yo, Miyagi's sense of humor is too good. Like the same thing where like he does the chop on the bottles. He's like, well, how'd you do this? Like, I don't know, first time. Like, he's always like, I don't know, man, first time. Like he's really downplaying the fact that I was like, yo, I know my stuff. Like, and that's great because it also gives more
It's all
like
confidence.
Yeah.
Too,
and it gives Daniel, I think, more things to look forward to. Be like, all right, cool. Like, it's not that he's hiding anything from me, but it's more just like, cool. Like, this guy legitimately knows the stuff that he can just apply it in like a random situation. Which then this situation is like, all right, hey, we're in the tournament. Like, this is what we got to do. Like,
everything
play by the rules.
still
Yeah,
applies.
and then it's like, hey, I can do this. Like, this dude's going over here, and I can block, or I can hit the hit before, and then pretty easy. And that's why like. That's what kind of coalesces into it. So like the training is more like it's to show that his training is higher value than everyone else's training.
Which is it's a fair point to say, but even then, like at least like a couple of spars.
Look, the fact that he also won the tournament and that music was playing gave him all the power up that you need. Don't question it.
I mean, he did get pretty
We got banged up because
banged up in the leg and a couple.
And the ribs,
Out of commission.
Yeah, out of commission. And then finally get the that final fight. He's like sweep the leg, and then Johnny's like, what? Because the leg's already messed up because what's his name?
The guy before
like
already
Tommy. I forgot his name, but he hit before he hit up. Yeah, he jumped in and went right in the leg. Like I'm thinking like is that. Like, I don't see why that's illegal. Like, you know what I mean?
It's not UFC, man.
Yeah, that's not UFC. But it's also not, whatever, point stuff. Anyway, yeah, I guess if you go for joints, that's bad.
Yeah, well, below the belt it doesn't count.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, they said that like, anything from the waist up is
a point.
Is fair. Yeah, as a point.
And the knockoff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so he's just like, freaking out. It's like, and my favorite is, do you have a problem with that? Like, that to me is like classic Stone Cold like villain lines. Just, do you have a problem with that? He's like, no, sensei. He's like, no mercy. You had to hit him with the no mercy. And I'm pretty sure as we find out later on in future stuff, like that scene or that sequence like scars Johnny for a really long time. You'll find that out later, Zach. But we get to that point, and so his leg's banged up, so. Daniel gets to the final end. He's figuring out. He's injured. He decides to still compete. And he hits him with that final, crane kick. Bam! End the tournament. All value winner. Woo! Freeze frame.
End movie.
Yeah, I love that. I was just like, yeah, end movie. Like we don't need to come down from that high. Like just end on a high. You did it. Congratulations.
You skipped the special massage. From Miyagi.
Oh yeah,
the big clap and
big clap. Yeah, because he's like, shh. That's what got him back up. But also, because I think it was also the power of friendship
or will.
Well, they had
not will, but friendship. Daniel.
They had another conversation there. It's like, oh, do you think I could have won? And he's like, oh, it's not about if you could have. Like,
Yeah.
It was a good back and forth. Always.
Yeah, it's not about that. Like, sometimes winning, it's not so much the point about winning. It's just like the growth. So, there's a lot of great formative things for many people. A lot of great intrinsic messages to pick up from the movie. Kind of reason why it's really a classic in my book. But yeah, I guess in final, recapping it, we're using Zach as sort of like our guinea pig and everything else. Any other fun moments stand out more? Not fun moments, just moments in general that stood out to you, or have we covered them all?
I like the part when they're on the boat and he like just knocks him over. I don't know if that was scripted or not scripted. It felt very natural and unscripted, so I don't know.
Because how rocky the boat was, where he's just like, I'm gonna tip him over. I don't know. I don't know if Danny fact checker. I don't know if he's looking for it, but pull it up, Chief.
I only bring it because like a lot of these movies like back in the day, it's like you never know what's improvised, what's scripted. But
yeah,
it seemed like one of those moments that they were just having fun on set and they left it in the movie, I guess.
Yeah, capture lightning in a bottle in a particular scene. Like you get the one moment of authenticity and
the actors stay in character.
Yeah.
Even though
That's honest. That's tough to do. Like, especially when you're gonna like go off the script or off other stuff. It's like, hey, like what would the character do in this situation based off of those lines? Like, they'd have to say that. So like, and you have to make it believable.
Yeah, and also like the director didn't say cut, so I guess we just go with it.
You're gonna go with it. That's true.
Imagine that's like the 30th time.
It's like number one rule of improvisation. Just say yes.
Just say yes.
Or say yes.
Yeah, just go with it. Yeah. Yeah,
I'm not finding anything on if it was
no like real scenes or not, but just rewatch it and figure it out. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, dude. Okay, so yeah, that scene's great. Yeah, it's like he's trying to have him balance. It's like, oh, don't scare the fish. It's great. Like I love it. Like in mitigators, like all these like limiters, like hey, don't do this, and also this, and it's like Daniel's so confused. Like, what is this? What am I signing up for? And he finally learned. That boy gonna learn today.
So apparently the headband Mr. Miyagi had was improvised.
Really?
He took a handkerchief out from his pocket and asked if he could use it as a prop.
Look at that. And he politely asked instead of just doing it on his own Cavalier Cowboy style. Look at that. That's pretty cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Cool. Anything else before we? I don't know. I would love. I don't know if we can go into ratings, but Anthony, any other things you'd like to add?
Yeah, it's actually like a pretty sad scene, but a great scene from Pat Morita.
Yep.
His acting in the scene where he's getting drunk and kind of like remembering his wife.
Yep.
And you kind of get to peel back a little bit of layers from his character. Yeah, it's when you like. When I was younger, I didn't really quite understand that much of that scene. But then as I got older and watched it more times, I'm like, oh wow, that scene is
it's a bit heartbreaking.
Pretty tough, yeah.
And you realize everything he's gone through and been through, and he's just trying to like make a nice living here. Those little bonsai trees and right here in the valley in California, so in SoCal, and it helps you feel more. And then like I think it also helps Daniel kind of pick up more of it too, like. It creates a bond, and like it's more than just like student mentor. Like they really truly become friends, and that's kind of what I liked about it too. That like Miyagi was vulnerable enough to like after all that, like like vulnerable enough to be like, hey, I'm still gonna do stuff, but like I have someone that I can still relate to or still hang on to, and that that helps. They say even like with older folks, like if you have friendships or stuff, the small community around you, that helps you kind of keep going. So it's really cool.
Yeah, that scene when he goes to Mr. Miyagi's like office or whatever.
Yeah.
Where they do the bonsai tree. Like he starts cutting, and his mom comes in. And it's like, oh, what are you doing? And Mr. Miyagi gives her a bonsai
nice
tree.
Bonsai tree, yeah.
And he's like, oh, take this one too, so you can keep practicing.
Yeah, just like this too, just to keep practice. Bonsai Daniel-san! So that's when he leaves him there to balance. It's like, Bonsai Daniel-san! Like, this almost, again, it's like, not cruel, but it's more just like, hey, if you're here, you're going to have to, it's a sink or swim moment. So, like, there are quite a few of those. It's great. Yeah, like, and I think because of that, funny enough, because of that movie, a lot of people started really, like, picking up and, like, trying to learn, like, karate or just more martial arts in general.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure somehow it's probably the reason why I started Taekwondo when I was young. It could have been.
You sure it wasn't the movie Mortal Kombat or Power Rangers?
No, man. I was probably too young when I was probably too young to watch Mortal Kombat, even though I did. But no, yeah, because I think I started when I was young, like 7-ish, 8-ish. So yeah, it could have been like I saw this movie and I probably liked it. Like I liked the martial arts, and then that's probably what got me into watching more like Jackie Chan stuff and other movies of like this ilk, like Sidekicks with Chuck Norris.
Damn, remember that? Sidekicks, the very end where he's there, like, wow, it's Chuck Norris. Yeah, and then he's going. That's
another one's kind of similar.
Similar to this, and then there's like the video game version, which is what's this
Wizard?
The Wizard.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's again. There's a tournament at the very end with the Power Glove. That's why I'm making a glove scene. They use the Nintendo Power Glove.
Trying to be Thanos.
Just trying to be Thanos, or just trying to put a hand somewhere? No, no. It's like there are a lot of movies that like have that culminate. Like one of my personal favorites that have that too, where like there's the training montages, a character is going in and then trying to prove himself in a tournament. Freaking Bloodsport. also kickboxer. Both movies with Jean-Claude Van Damme, but Bloodsport is like that's like the one that that plus Karate Kid really like, at least for a lot of people, like left a really wild impact. That like, believe it or not, like Bloodsport helped influence what ended up becoming like the Mortal Kombat games. Like Johnny Cage is supposed to be, you know, like Jean-Claude Van Damme. And, you know, the whole Mortal Kombat tournament thing where you have different people, like that whole like tournament and stuff, it's like coming from those things where you have like in Bloodsport Kumite, you have the All Valley competition here in Karate Kid, a whole bunch of others from so many movies I can't even name right now because there's just so many. And it's, you know, like a lot of it really came into like the big spotlight because of this movie. So you have a lot of people, a lot of things where they're TV shows or movies that take direct inspiration from the formula that was made in Karate Kid. So again, really glad you got to see this. I think it sparked an interest to kind of see the others. Part 2 is something else. Like it's cool, but it's definitely an interesting departure. And then part 3 is very similar. I would say it's similar to part 1. And then you go through the next Karate Kid with Hilary Swank, and then finally that'll get you ready for Cobra Kai. And then you get to realize some stuff, and you'll be like, "Wow!"
You have
like,
to destroy that show.
Yeah, you gotta like just the episodes are short, and it's just like
Well, we're about to get to the finale now with the final season.
part 1 of 3.
Yeah, they're splitting into 3
Final
parts.
season. It's 3 seasons.
So you have time.
It's 3 seasons. It's 3 splits in a movie, basically.
That's so
It's not 6.
Yeah.
Wait, is this the 6th season?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are getting 6 seasons in a movie with Cobra Kai.
Yeah.
Check that out. That's freaking amazing. And also a Community reference. Watch Community.
Yeah.
That's your weekly PSA to watch Community.
I think they said they're moving along with the movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's been being written. So we'll get there. Alrighty, folks. So, do we want to rate this one? Or do we just want to chalk it up
It's
to
just-
the levels of nostalgia and be like, this is fun and
Just a
great.
great
Let's go and
classic.
watch it. Classic.
Yeah. Unrateable.
Unrateable. It's not unbreakable boards or unbreakable bottle caps.
So for an 80s movie.
Yeah, no, don't put the qualifier.
No, I'm just saying because in
A lot of the
other
times-
80s movies that he's watched, he kind of gives it
It's either Back to the
a
Future
middle-
Incredible or middling
a
Top
middle
Gun.
score because it's too cheesy. So
Or,
is
you
this
know,
on
Big
the-
Trouble in Little China, the kind of
is
cheesy,
this a
whatever.
cheese factor or is it a little bit higher than the
No, it's definitely better than
The
that.
standard
It's
cheese
definitely
factor.
better than that, yeah. I would rate it highly for an 80s movie.
Ooh.
Seeing it
But
through
what about for a regular movie?
for a movie like through like my current lens, I guess, would be. I think it's a solid movie.
So 7 out of
it's
10
okay.
crane kicks.
Roughly, I would say like in that realm of 7.5.
Cool.
And the only reason again would be like some of the pacing stuff that I mentioned earlier.
But that gets outweighed by you're the best around. Yes. Absolutely
Yes.
is.
Yeah.
100%.
He's like, it was a 1, but once that song kicked in, automatic 7.
The pacing of the tournament was weird, but once that song kicked, I understood.
The pace.
You gotta be tough, and you gotta. It's so awesome, dude. Like,
Because I also want to mention like those last like the last 60 seconds of the movie, right?
just go.
Where it's like a freeze
Okay.
frame on Mr. Miyagi's face.
Okay.
He's giving him the nod while everyone's like lifting him up when he has the trophy.
That's my favorite
And
thing.
they
It's like,
freeze frame on him like not like
Yeah, he's like, yeah, you got that.
yeah, you win it. You got the girl. You got the trophy. You beat your bully up. John Kreese is disgraced. Out of here.
And we talked because I don't think we talked about Johnny coming back and saying like, oh,
Like giving him the respect.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, this is
Give him his
where
props.
I'm gonna like get a little like now comparing to the
Because even the kid who like broke his leg or whatever, like went and was like, sorry, I'm sorry, I didn't want to do
Oh
that.
yeah, he's like, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to.
Yeah.
He's like, well then why'd you do it, jerk?
Yeah, right. Sure. You could have said no. Like
No, he would have died by
Well,
this.
yeah, it's that or
John Kreese would have killed him.
yeah, kick his ass or something.
no one sees him the next day.
It's just like what happened.
Like nobody talks about it.
He put him in a body bag.
Kick you out. Yeah, right. Get him a body bag, Johnny. Yeah, get him. It's just like I'll get all the body bags.
So that part, again, comparing it to the Jaden Smith one, I liked how the way that they executed that part in the Jaden Smith one because it seems more like realistic, whereas in this one it's like they're very rushed. Like okay, he wins, then all of a sudden Johnny has respect, hands him the trophy, walks away, he gets carried, and then freeze frame.
Look, man.
I'm sorry.
Look.
in the Jackie Chan one, the bully kid, like, it takes a moment to, like, okay, you know what, he bested me. I gotta give him respect for that. Even like that kid's sensei was like you know, let's all give him respect. Everyone lined up, they bowed, they did all that stuff. Like, there was a build up, and it felt better, like, executed. It felt better executed. Like the 60 seconds we got in this movie ended up being like maybe 4 minutes of that in the other movie, but it was done better.
Counterpoint. Adrenaline from the win. Understanding that despite the fact that Johnny was meant to try to win these underhanded tactics, and Daniel still beat him, he was in the rush and feeling in the moment of realizing, yo, this guy, despite all this stuff, still beat me. Like, yeah, there's a respect. I gotta do that immediately.
Beat him on one leg.
Yeah, he beat him on one leg. So counterpoint. Yeah, adrenaline.
I always like that they had Johnny came up and said like, oh, respect.
But as we find out later, there are repercussions. But that's for another day when Zach finally catches up with Cobra Kai. Repercussions.
Oh,
yeah.
and then the kid, backtracking real quick, the kid then handed the trophy to Jaden Smith, but with, like, you know, there was more like of a moment between them.
Yeah,
and the trophy.
There was more ceremony. Yeah, that's why I think there's more ceremony. Yeah. This was America. They don't care.
Yeah, this was the Valley.
They're like, yeah, we did
the All Valley.
Yeah, America. It's the All Valley. Means everything.
In China, and there's more respect between just in Chinese culture.
Not American culture. You did it. I respect you, but also don't like you in the end. So end the movie after not.
Like America. Speaking of I can't do the scream.
Speaking of caca, dude, I can't wait till he gets to Cobra Kai. Freaking
oh god, there's something.
Yes, there's something bird related, and then there's something stingray related.
Oh my god, it's terrible.
And then there's something stingray related.
Hawk.
It's so good. Just anyway, that's your PSA to get involved and dive deep in all the Karate Kid lore. Because this is great, and I'm glad, Zach, you enjoyed it being a sort of like a classic film that you're feeling like, hey, like, I'm the better for watching it. So really good stuff.
Yeah, it's a great movie for youngins.
For the youngins.
Youngins. Good messages, very good, wholesome, feel-good movie. Yeah, you might learn some life lessons.
And you might want to take some martial arts. Everybody's out here with the UFCs and everything stuff. Like, I like the classical stuff. Like, I've always thought that was cool because there was more behind it than just like combat sport training just for combat. Like, there's more to it. Like, there's focus, there's mental balance, there's being able to learn about perseverance and overcoming stuff. That works intrinsically with that training too.
You might learn some house chores too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you might learn how to wax a car.
Or how to go on dates. That date scene was pretty fun.
Yeah,
when he had his car.
That was dude. Miyagi's car is woo. That's iconic. That's classic. What model car is that again? Danny, I need you to look at it before we wrap this up.
I don't know.
It's
like a Model T.
It's
it's not that old. It's not that old.
It's not that old, my dude. Like,
it looked like the old style taxi car from Crazy Taxi.
1947 Ford Super Deluxe.
Ooh, good choice. That man has, he's got a 1941 Chevrolet Light Delivery. He's got a 1959 Nash Metropolitan 1500 Coupe. Like, he's got all the nice old cars. Yeah, the Super Deluxe convertible, that's the one he was able to take out. He also drives another 51 Cadillac sedan.
The cream colored one, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the Ford.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the cream colored one's the Ford one. And then a couple other ones are in that color. You got a Pontiac Woody wagon. Again, like Miyagi, he got a collection. The man's got taste, like classic car taste. He's got to register those separately, but too good. Yeah, man. So many great stuff about the movie. Like Anthony said, there's so many great stuff. So with that, hopefully that inspires you to watch it or rewatch it again if you've seen it already. Like I said, get through the rest of the lore and have some fun, man. Just enjoy the karate lore, the Karate Kid lore. It's too good. Anyway, so moving on. What do we have going on next week?
We'll be watching Twisters Twisters.
Twisters.
Plurals.
Yeah.
40X.
Oh my god, the board game.
And yes.
Yeah.
In 40X.
In 40X.
I believe it comes out anyway next weekend, so it will be newish whenever you hear that episode.
Yep.
But I don't think we've talked about the first Twister, have we?
No, we have not.
I've never even seen the. First
So maybe we
man,
could do that
so-
next week.
So
Wait, Dave, have
homework.
you seen Twister?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
What?
Have you been? Did
Have
you
you
go
been
on
to the ride?
the
Not the ride,
Twister
but like the
experience?
show
I've
experience.
never
It's like a
done
show
it.
ride.
Oh
I
man.
never did. I think I was too young that I was like scared of it.
All right.
I didn't know what
Impromptu
was gonna
switch up.
happen, but, like-
So next week's episode will be Twister 1.
Oh,
That
boy.
way we'll give everybody, our listeners and
man.
viewers, a week to watch Twisters 2, Twinsters, whatever it's
Yeah.
called. And then we could talk about our 40X experience in 2 weeks.
Yeah, we're gonna have the scoop, but yeah, we can definitely. That's for sure.
We'll
I
see
loved
how
it. I
windy
can
it
put-
gets, how wet we get, how many
How wild
hooks
it
in the
gets.
backs we get.
Yeah,
Um,
I love. But for the record, I loved putting Danny on the spot. There, he's like, "What?" I was like, "Dude, Twisters."
I forgot.
It is Twisters. No, but yeah, Anthony, great pivot.
Twister
So
1, Twister 2.
next episode, look forward to our take, especially Zach's reaction again to the great 1990s classic movie Twister, starring Bill Paxton, late great Bill
R.I.P.
Paxton, R.I.P. So I cannot wait to talk about that one. That one's another great, fun disaster film. So until next time, everybody, keep your training up, wax on, wax off, and thank you so much for tuning in. Catch you next time.
And credits.
Later.
Bandai.